Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
I just headlined for 13 people on Zoom.
Great.
I'm so tired. I'm like, I'm so tired of this.
Yeah. I did a set for 16 people. And it was all right.
10 minutes is okay. 45 is when you're like,
yeah,
what's the point of this?
Well, the show I did was the audio, everybody was muted. So there's things that need to happen in a Zoom show.
Right.
And audio has to be kind of one of them.
Right.
And yeah, I don't think that I'll never not do Zoom shows again or not do online shows. I like the idea that online shows a great deal. The fact that people can be anywhere and they can happen at different times of the day, and
yeah,
and people who can't get to comedy can see comedy. But I am really looking forward to the club sets.
Yeah. There was the Stand posted a picture of Rich Voss on stage, in a sparsely attended, room. I was like, wow.
I saw a Pepitone picture of him at Alameda.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. That looked pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, you
just
gotta
reminisce about other people having worked
other people's performances. You gotta figure if you're double vaxxed,
yeah, and it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have people in the audience, I don't know who would go out if they weren't vaccinated, but some people are stupid. But most people, I think, don't want to get COVID and are going to get vaccinated. And so you're going to have an audience of mostly vaccinated people. And, that's sort of, that's might be enough.
It might be enough. And I have to say, today we drove up to near Visalia, California, for lunch. And then we did Easter eggs, painted some Easter eggs, and then drove back down. And Andy's Easter eggs, much like Andy's pumpkins at Halloween.
Oh, boy.
Amazing. It turns out being married to Art Guy means whatever loose, weird societal art that happens, just because it's supposed to be children or fun, all of a sudden you're staring at an egg that has realistic-looking carrots on it.
Oh, my God. How disturbing, honestly.
I was like, what? Anyway, so we stopped to pick up lunch, for his mom, for all of us, and I'm standing in line, distanced, getting ready to place my order, and behind me are two people without masks who are about 3 or 4 feet away from me. And the woman is saying very loudly, or she should be ashamed. She should be whispering this.
Yes.
And, but she's not. And she's saying, well, there's studies out that said it's really hard to breathe with masks on. And I was like, are there studies? Or do you just find it get a different mask? It's sort of like there's a million different kind of masks out there. There's some that are more comfortable than other to your face, to your weird face, lady. It turns out the one that is really comfortable for my face is I don't like that it's a Dunkin' Donuts employee mask.
Are you sure you don't like that?
I bought it because I thought it was funny, and I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee so much.
Yeah.
But I've gotten so many comments about, oh, you must love Dunkin' Donuts, and I just want to go, I'm not really donut people, but I am Dunkin' Donuts coffee people 100,000 times.
Is it cloth?
It is both. It is nylon and cloth. It's nylon on the outside, cloth on the inside. And it fit, the ear things are adjustable, and it just fits really nice. It cleans well. Like I just, I wash it and
yeah. I think those are decent and they're good enough for now. But like in the height of the pandemic, you want to have like one of those surgical.
Right. It also has a pouch for a filter. Like the staff, it's what the people who work at Dunkin' Donuts wear.
Okay.
So I mean,
when I think health, I think Dunkin' Donuts. So yeah.
You should think their coffee and how delicious it is.
It is great coffee. Really... I do. And they, I think in a couple years are going to different packaging, but right now they have that like really shiny plastic that's not recyclable. So it's not my favorite thing.
Oh, right.
In fact, I paid extra for Intelligentsia because it was like, it has that kind of paper bag.
And then just the bonus of trying to go to Intelligentsia and trying to get someone to give a shit that you've come.
Jackie, it is sold in grocery stores like Dunkin' Donuts is.
Oh, is
it's in Pavilion now?
So
Yeah.
Hey, Intelligentsia, you've sold out. And I say, good for you.
So I had a couple of weird things happen to me this week. Well, this one. So did I tell you last week my Charmy ate super glue, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because once Charmy was okay, and that picture of Charmy being okay was hilarious.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it was a sticky situation. That's when I tweeted it.
Oh yeah, the puns wouldn't stop at some point. Yeah. Well,
anyway, so what'd you eat this week?
Oh, a chocolate bar full of THC that I forgot I had. She found it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I looked it up, and everyone said she'll act crazy, but you have to go to the ER because that's the last thing I want to do is go to the vet with a dog in pandemic. Okay, and she was bananas. She was super hyper, and then she couldn't move her legs, and her legs weren't working, and she looked like, what the fuck? Like she wasn't enjoying it. And I feared that that's how I will be like when I get high, and that's probably why I never ate that chocolate bar.
Yeah, you were probably correct. It's
but so earlier after the super glue thing, I sent a tweet. I tweeted something like here, when you're at something about being at the vet going, oh, your dog's ready to be picked up, we'll have her out in an hour, right? Because every time you go to the vet now, it takes so long to get the animal. And at first I thought it was the vet that I use, and I'm like, these people suck, but I'm they have all their medical information, so I'll stay with them. And then when I went to the ER, it was the same thing. They're like, our tech will be right out. And it was like 45 minutes later when they were out. Like, again, my battery died, and somebody jumped me in the time I was waiting for the thing to happen. It happened with the food delivery too.
Your car battery?
Yeah, because I left the key in while I went to listen to the radio, and then okay. So, but anyway, so I just tweeted that, and someone tweeted under, and then you thank your vet for, and I was like, go away. This is a joke for people who are waiting in their cars for their dogs to be released to them. Okay, this is not a joke for you. Right. Then that person, because I didn't reply to her, then she wrote a 1,000-word essay on Medium about my tweet without naming me. And then she tagged me on Twitter and goes, hey, would you read this and share it? I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about? You wrote 1,000 words about how much you hate me and my attitude. What? No. Oh, you're insane. But she's a veterinarian, and like I wouldn't want to be a veterinarian now. It'd be hell. And I always feel like the pandemic is making everyone out of their fucking mind. So you just got to give people, like pandemic points,
Right.
I know why you're crazy.
Right.
Pandemic
so I didn't
patience.
do anything. Yeah. You don't do anything.
I wanted to quote tweet. I tried it on you guys. It's a good one. But I was like, then everyone's going to pile on and tell her she's, annoying. And she probably, no one needs that.
Right.
You take your profession so personally, and it's like, just scroll on, just keep scrolling,
Right. And it is curious that they would say your dog will be right out. How about they say, and I wonder if your pet is done with the service at the vet,
right,
and the vet is like, okay, well, we're done with your dog. All you have to do is then I mean, I know clearly there's more to it, obviously, than just putting the leash back on and walking the dog out to the person.
I don't know. Don't you need to clear the room? You know,
Maybe you got to
treat
clear
the dogs
room.
like a doctor treats us. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Isn't it volume? And
I don't know.
you got to turn over these tables.
I
I
don't
used
know.
to work at a Chinese restaurant.
What?
It was that Mr. Chano, he said that it was a volume industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like, we got to turn over these tables. It's been great.
Yeah. So that was fun. That was fun. It was fun to have someone write an essay about your tweet.
1,000 words. So you're like, wow.
I'm like, I wish I had those balls to slam somebody and then ask that they share and share it. Oh my God.
I got the second shot on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And Tuesday night, I was fine. And then Tuesday, in the middle of the night, I wasn't particularly fine. I woke up kind of achy. And I had a dentist appointment on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. And at 8 a.m., I texted them and said, I have second day of second shot symptoms. I can't go anywhere. And so I essentially slept for like 3 hours on Wednesday. And then just sat around feeling kind of achy and headachy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just it felt like a cold. And there's 1,000 theories of how, it just means that how bad you would have reacted, how good your immune system is. And who cares? It's over now. It is currently Saturday. And essentially I just have a little bit of, my arm hurts just a little bit still from the shot.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So, I will be fully vaxxed up and ready to do something. And by God, I want to do something. I was, remember 2 weeks ago, I was all nervous. It just took me a second to get used to it again.
Right.
I don't like change.
Yeah.
And I've been spending 13 months getting used to this. And
Right.
I just needed 2 new weeks to get used to wanting to go out again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I went into a mall about a week ago. What? Yes. A shopping mall.
Which one?
There's one in Burbank. I popped into Cost Plus Pure World Imports just to check things out, see what's happening there.
Anything good coming from New Zealand?
I don't know. It's nice when a chain from your childhood is still open.
Oh, okay.
Everything's closing. Did I tell you about McCullough's last week when I went up to the Bay Area? Oh my God. McCullough's is like this little chain of little tiny department store, and there's like 3 or 4 of them in the Bay Area, and it's where I got my first bra, and that store is still in business in the same location. So and then I walked in. I'm like, to honor them, I'm going to buy a purse, and then Charmy chewed it like within a day. Yeah, but that was kind of cool.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the my mother-in-law's neighbor David has an old lab, an old black lab, and a brand new, like 3 or 4 month old white lab puppy. Mm-hmm. And the white lab puppy is all just mouth puppy energy. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a lot of energy.
You made the right choice, I can tell you.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you something.
How's Gordy?
Gordy's fucking bossy. Gordy is willing to listen until he's not willing to listen, and so we drove up to Andy's mom's today, and so I opened the door so that I could put like his little, somewhere we could sit in the back seat, and because we got him on a leash, and then it's around a thing, but then there's like a dog bed, right? Mm-hmm. So I went to put the dog bed in, and he jumps in, and I was like, come on out, Gordy. I got to put the bed in the... And I don't know why I'm explaining it to the dog, but I was. And...
You hear my dog? She's riveted. She's barking right now. She's taking Gordy's side. out of
Gordy
pocket.
Gordy wouldn't get out. So I just essentially put the dog bed, essentially half on top of him and half where it belonged. And then he kind of worked around it and then ended up inside of it. And it was exactly where I was like, you can stay in there, but we're not leaving for another 15 minutes. You want to sit in the car for 15 minutes. And so he sat in the car for 15 minutes and then.
People drive their babies around because sometimes the car is the only thing that puts them to sleep.
Yeah, I remember my brother Phil used to, my youngest niece would just drag her in this wagon around the block. Like it was when she was a baby. He'd put all kinds of swaddling around this old red wagon and then just pull her and she would get knocked out. Like she would just she was out. Like as soon as he made like the full loop and then they could put her into the crib or into her bed. And it was better.
I'm about to pass out. I'm so tired.
Well, okay, so you did your set.
Yeah, but my room is done. They still have to do a few more things to the outside, but yeah, it's now my son has the old closet, my closet, and I have his closet. His is way smaller, and so now there's just shit everywhere because they're trying to figure out whose stuff goes where and what I should keep. There's when you empty out a closet, there's stuff like you maybe wanted 2 years ago. Now you're like, do I need to keep this, or do I need to keep it in my closet, or couldn't it go in a crawl space, or under the house? But yeah, I woke up this morning. First morning, I had like fucking so much light coming in from the windows, and it was cool. It's like, this is what I wanted. I always wanted like a really well lit, sun drenched bedroom.
Yeah, just a happy room kind of thing. Well, William's going to come over and help us set up something so that, because last March he helped us put in place for the garden, right? Those raised beds. Well, the sun is still 101 degrees. And so he's going to help us build something to sort of diffuse the sunlight. So
cool.
And he's going to start as soon as he's done with yours, I guess.
All right. He'll be over there next week. Wow, yep. Jackie, what don't we share?
We got the bra thing, and then we have the
birthday and a contractor.
Yep, and a guy who can fix stuff and make things.
So I go to my friend Cheryl, my best friend Cheryl, right? Her mom passed away a couple years ago. So she made an appointment with a medium. And she said, can you drive me? Because if I'm too overwhelmed, if I connect with my mom, I need you to drive me back. So I'm like, okay. So I show up unannounced. The guy doesn't know who I am. I sit upstairs in the waiting room. Cheryl goes in and she comes out after an hour and she's like, well, a little while into the session, my mom was there. She said her mom was there. He said, there's a woman here who's not a family member, but she says she's a friend. And I'm getting the name Joanne. He said, Joanne.
Wow.
Guess what? Joanne said, I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to say a few things to Cheryl could tell my daughter. And then she stayed for 20 minutes. That's how long she didn't want to interrupt for.
That does sound like your mom.
Classic. And then her complaint was she didn't like how I was grieving her death and thought that I wasn't doing it properly. And I'm like, yeah, you would come back from the dead to criticize my behavior. Yep, that's you.
Right. Did you say, could someone please get my dad on the line? Because that's all I want to talk to.
No, it's sure. I now want to go see this guy because I want to talk to my dad. She's
right.
Yeah. My dad apparently was, she said that they were together and everything, but she was the only one talking. So but the fact that it all lined up 100%. And mostly that she interrupted and stayed for a third of the session. And then I got irritated with her and I'm like, it's like she's alive,
Right. Well, it's did your mom leave Cheryl any money? Just cover the medium.
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, April 16th, Friday, I'm doing this Rush Takes thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so much work that almost everyone else is doing. Let's
The late night show.
Yeah, it's Your Late Night is what it's called with Jackie Cation. And everyone has to buy a ticket, please. If you have $15, I have to fill the internet. So if you could, everybody just fucking pony up, go to rushtakes.com.
It'll 16th. And you're going to see a different side to Jackie than you see on the Sunday services or anything. It's completely different. It won't be anything you've seen before. I
have to tell you, the things that they're writing for me are amazing. There's a musical thing that I'm going to be doing.
What? Amber Ruffin does a ton of musical stuff. Have you been watching her show at all? You should, just to get some rhythm and pacing ideas.
I really
she's
should.
Performing in front of nobody, and she's doing full song and dance numbers, and check her out.
This thing, and then I'm going to interview Margaret Cho, right?
Hey, cool.
Yeah, I was gonna. I was shy to ask her. I was just like, I know, because Rush Takes kept recommending people. Yeah. I was just gonna have Maria. I asked Maria if she would do it because I did her Rush Takes show, and she was like, "Of course." And then, but Maria's doing a Rush Takes show where she sleeps. Did I tell you about that?
No, what?
It's called a Maria Bamford Slumber Party, and we came up with it during the tech rehearsal for her last stand-up show for Rush Takes.
Wow.
Maria was like, I am so tired, I just have to sleep. And I said something along the lines of, people would watch that. And she's like, oh yeah? Do you think people want to watch a medicated 8-hour sleep? And I said, if you filmed it for 8 hours, this is a cash cow. And the Rush Takes woman was like, would you be willing to do that? And now they're doing it. And so,
wow. So it's an 8-hour show, or what's
an 8-hour show. So Maria's going to take her meds and go to sleep. And it's going to be like the Truman Show.
Oh my God.
Where you're like, go ahead, watch her sleep, see how she cuddles. And with a bunch of stuffed animals. And so I asked her if she would do it. And so Rush Takes was like, actually, it might bleed off some of the people. And I was like, I don't actually think it will. But okay, that's fine. And then, so I just texted Margaret and I said, would you be, we can, it will not, it's a 10-minute interview for this late show. And I don't know, like when you interview people on panel, you're right about that. I should watch, because when I interview people for the Dork Forest, I usually interview people about what they love, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm interviewing them about, it's just plug and play. This thing, if she wants to plug something, like, I don't want to Byron Allen this, So I understand. Mm-hmm. You like carousels. And then she does her carousel bit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
it's whatever she wants, right? So find out if she wants to do a bit, if she has a bit to go into. And she's kind of a topical comic, so I'm sure it wouldn't be an awkward segue if she wants to go into a bit, but
No, and it's not going to be. I don't think it won't be awkward at all, and it's just going to be fun to talk to her. But I'm just gonna. I would just rather just talk to her about, hey, so you go back on the road? Like literally, what I would ask her is so are you? What are you reading anything good? What are you doing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it will be really, because there's going to be sketches and there's going to be this interview thing, and then I'm going to do a musical thing, and then there's going to be desk pieces, and the desk pieces they have those themes that desk pieces often do, and one of them, one of the writers was like, yeah, but that sounds too much like the Tonight Show guy. And
thank you notes or something.
Yeah, it was like that. So we changed it to, because it was So congratulations. Essentially, I'm congratulating like my family members, and they.
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
And I had made this sort of vision boardy listy kind of thing of things that I like and and so they're writing in my voice, which is surreal.
Yeah, that is strange, isn't it? I mean, is it partially you're like, this is cool, and then you're like, this isn't my voice. Why do you like, do you get sort of annoyed that someone thinks that you would talk like a certain way? Or
there were a couple of beats that were slightly off.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I wish I was as interesting as the stuff. The stuff is so much funnier, and sort of some of it's super sweet, some of it's very smart and political. And I was like, did I tell you that I was on this political show that I was ill prepared for? But and two different people told me that I was super smart, that I sounded really smart. And I said, yeah, I chose to listen most of that. And so I didn't talk a lot. And so of course I sounded smarter. Because then when I did say something, I had thought it through.
That reminds me, I did this show called The Blame Game that airs in Belfast. It's a show in Northern Ireland, and I taped it Thursday, so a couple of days ago at 11 in the morning, and it was like there were 4 in studio panelists, so they're there in person, and the audience is on Zoom, and I was behind them on Zoom. So it was fun. It was obviously the Zoom thing is shitty, right? And I also they like can finish each other's sentences, and I'm like, do I stop all this to tell a joke? Like I was reading my jokes going, this joke isn't worth stopping their conversation for, because of the way I have to enter the conversation. It's like I'm parachuting in, and it's a gigantic landing, and the joke's got to be really great to be worth it. And so
right.
it was tough, but it was fun. I was like, fuck, I would love to go to Belfast, obviously, and I'd love to be in person on the show.
Have you ever been to Northern Ireland?
No, just Southern Ireland.
Yeah, me too. It was fascinating. Anyway, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to do where are we at, Kyle?
We're at 27.
27. I'm cool. We have a lot of things to do this particular episode.
Yeah, we're busy little business ladies today.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, let's talk first about Function of Beauty.
Yes.
You guys, I don't know if you know this, but it's dedicated to being the world leader in customizable beauty, offering precise formulations for your hair-specific needs. Do you know what that means? All that means is you go to functionofbeauty.com and you take the tiny quiz. You take the tiny quiz, which actually customizes shampoo and conditioner and skincare stuff to your specifics. You answer the questions, they make something for you, and you can pick a color, and then they send it off. So that's what customizable beauty products are from Function of Beauty. So you take the quick but thorough quiz to tell them a little bit about your hair type and your hair, I think it's goals, right? Yeah, such as lengthen, volumize, and oil control. And because your hair changes with the season, you can change your hair goals before every shipment. So don't buy off the shelf just to be disappointed, right? Go to functionofbeauty.com and then /Jackie Laurie, functionofbeauty.com /Jackie Laurie to take the quiz, and then you save 20% off on your first order. And that applies to their full range of customizable hair, skin, and body products. So are which one are you using, Laurie?
Eucalyptus. My hair goal is that it stays in. Like I just want hair coming out of my head constantly. I should get my formula to the medium, because the formula is called Joanne.
And then your mom can talk about it. But I will say this.
She can interrupt our podcast for 20 minutes.
So you go to functionofbeauty.com /Jackie Laurie and save 20% off your first order. and functionalbeauty.com/Jackie Laurie. Mine is the last one I got was pink, and and I'm still working on it because the bottle lasts a long time. You know, it lathers so good, and it smells good. And I put a little lavender in it because I've always wanted to be an old lady. And I love lavender. I genuinely do it. It genuinely calms me down. So go to functionalbeauty.com/Jackie Laurie.
Yeah.
You want to do comic of the week?
Yeah. So our comic of the week is Jaye McBride.
Jaye McBride.
Yes. I've worked with her on a couple Zoom shows this pandemic. And then I was looking at some videotape from the previous pre-COVID days.
Yeah.
And she's funny. She's trans, and it's I'm just appalled at how they're under assault right now. Like it seems to me the Republicans can't demonize Joe Biden because everyone kind of likes him, and so it's all culture wars. It's little Nas X, and it's trans people, and it's just going to be a gross 4 years because they can't really go after, Biden unless he dies and Kamala Harris takes over. Then I guess they go after Kamala, sorry.
Kamala. But the thing about Jaye McBride, smart and sharp.
Yes. Back to Jaye. Sorry.
Back to Jaye. And she's really sharp and funny. And
yes.
What's her Twitter handle? What's the Twitter IG?
It's just her name.
Oh,
JayeMcBride.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jaye McBride, smart, sharp, funny, and good people as well. So find her and follow her and book her.
Yep. Book her on a Zoom show. They're so satisfying.
So satisfying. And now, do you want to do the next one?
I do. Here's the thing. Okay, so we're going to talk about Green Chef, guys. I love Green Chef. They're the first USDA certified organic meal kit company. Whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, or just looking to eat healthier, there's a range of recipes to suit any diet or preference. Jackie, recipes are easy and quick with step-by-step instructions. You know how dumb I am in the kitchen. They give you these Denny's menu instructions, and they have pictures of the food, and I'm like, and I put it together. There's chef tips, and there's photos to guide you along. Ingredients, they come pre-measured. They're perfectly proportioned. They're mostly prepped, so you just spend less time stressing and more time enjoying your delicious home-cooked meals.
Right. What I love about it is the way that they're eco-packaged. They're instead of tiny, thick plastic individual little bottles of sriracha or whatever it is, to do it. And I like that they're doing all the different kind of ethnic food too. Like you can get a Chinese meal, or you could,
Indian.
And sometimes you get fish. And you know what? I never do buy fish, but fish is easy to prepare, especially when Green Chef tells me how to do it. And they send the protein too. I love that they send the protein. I love that the packaging is all eco-friendly, and it's always delicious and interesting. And they put together some herbs that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of, and then I can use it myself on my own food, because I like to use it for inspiration, and it saves a lot of time, obviously, right?
Yes.
So,
and we started doing family dinner where so my son could learn to cook the easiest possible way, and we've been keeping it up. We do it every single week. We have one family dinner, and afterwards we play Uno or a Monopoly or whatever. But what I'm saying is Green Chef kicked it off because it kind of was like, here, even you dummy, you can figure this out. And I brought that energy to my son.
I love that it's idiot proof. Our family can do this. It's such an interesting energy. But I will say this, if you go to greenchef.com/90 Jackie Laurie and use code 90 Jackie Laurie, you get $90 off, including free shipping. So that's greenchef.com/90 Jackie Laurie, and the code is obviously 90 Jackie Laurie for $90 off.
Yes, 90, not the word 90. 90 Jackie Laurie. As in, no, this won't help them. As in, Our breasts weigh 45 pounds each. 45 times 2 is 90. 90 Jackie and Laurie.
So I'm doing the Sunday services tomorrow at 3 p.m. And I accidentally set the Zoom up for 3 a.m. And then I got many, because you know what? Here's how long I've been doing the Sunday services.
Yeah.
Everyone knows me now. Now we're all friends. the 100 of us that get together, they've been watching me work on this set for a year. And they're like, so they're riffing on the error. And at first I thought they were just riffing. And then I went and checked the Zoom and I'm like, oh, it is 3 p.m., not 3 a.m. So, and it'll be good for Australia and Hong Kong, the fans there, but not good for anybody in Europe because it is 3 p.m. It's just too late for anyone in Europe to come to the show. But the guesties so far are Brandy Brown and Guy Branum, Aaron Foley, and why would I?
Well, here's the thing.
Josh Gondelman.
Oh my gosh, that's a great lineup that they have missed because it's Monday.
That's right. They have missed it.
Well done, Jackie. Well done.
And do you know young Ray Lau? Works.
Yes,
at
he just hosted my Flapper show.
Yeah, he's going to do a a little guesty as well.
He's very funny as well. Yes.
Yeah. So it's always fun. I try to ask. I've got the list going. I have added your names. Everyone's names are added. I don't know if I've kept track of it, but hopefully it'll all work out. And if it doesn't, find other stage work. It's not my fault. But I will try. I promise to try. And then, but I have this long list of people that I've been wanting to ask too. And Gondelman has been on that list for months, but he wasn't ever anywhere near the top. So, I mean, I added people as I thought of them, like they would say a funny tweet. And, yeah. So
that's how you do it.
Fun. That's how I do it anyway. I got spreadsheets coming out of my ears. But I did a bunch of new stuff tonight on the show that I did tonight. And I've got a couple of benefits this week that I'm doing on Zoom. And I applied for that business thing that you told me to apply for.
No, Brandy mentioned it.
Oh, was it Brandy Posey?
Yeah, in our chat. She just said
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, California has a grant that they give. They're giving qualified people. You just sign up for it and see if they think you're qualified.
Right, and I took a half an hour and wrestled with it, and if I get this grant, that will be great. And if I don't, it was only a half an hour.
Yeah, you know, because you didn't get a PPP loan, you probably will go at. I think you have a higher chance of getting it.
Maybe because I didn't get the right. That's true.
I got a PPP and I got a forgiven, so it was, I didn't have to pay any of it back.
Wow, that's so great.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to I tried to get Andy to do it, but he spaced it. He's getting his second shot tomorrow. And my second shot kicked my butt so bad for the day and a half, right? Where it was probably a sort of an achy, headachy 3 to 5 hours. And then I was, very brave. And just essentially lying in bed like I do when I have a cold. Because I rarely ever get a cold. But whenever I do, I'm the biggest fucking baby in the whole world. I'm just like, oh, you don't understand. Nobody's ever had a cold before. And so whenever it happens, Andy usually says, you're being very brave. In that tone of voice, which helps actually, because it gets me out of self-pity mode. And so
Jackie,
yeah,
I finally listened to my cuts for my CD.
Oh, wow. Talk about thinking about something else during my fascinating story about vaccinations. So you listen to the cuts from
because you were winding down and I saw you go to your computer. I'm like, oh, she's flailing, and I have another comedy related story. I'm here to save you.
Yeah, you were completely right. That story just sort of petered out, and it doesn't deserve. It shouldn't go to network. Let's just let's talk about how did that sound?
Well, okay, so I didn't listen to the cuts that the guys did and put out on a Google Drive. I just listened to my own iPhone recordings, and I lined all the bits up, and I had Lisa Curry had done that for me, and then I went by hers, and then I had a few of my own that I thought I like this thing better here and this thing better here, and it didn't take I could have done this a year and a half ago, and I just did it now. I don't know what to tell you. There's something wrong with me.
No,
but
there's several ways. This one right here, Jackie Cation, several directions I could go in. But what I'm just going to say is you did it now and it's done. So fucking A. I say congratulations.
Yeah. Huge weight off having that thing done, and then having
that's so great.
Room almost done too.
Yeah.
All finished and stuff. I'm so excited to just lay in my bed and look outside.
And see the sun and see the pool.
Yes.
Yeah, that is amazing. I can't wait. Here's what I'm thinking of doing in June, because I don't have any work in June. I have May and July booked, and I have put out many feelers to and
you have all of May and wait, you have how many weeks do you have so far?
I have 3 weeks booked in June and the recording set in July.
Wow, cool. That's great.
So that's great. So the 3 weeks in June are great. I would like to sustain that energy.
Yeah.
So that I'm truly warmed up by mid-July when I make it to Minneapolis to record the album and shoot the special. And I just got to fill May, right? And
Jackie, why not go to New York for a week or so?
Well, because I got to run long sets.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this one has forgotten. Oh, I'm far away from the mic.
You're far away from the mic, but she is typing your name. Okay.
Right. So I asked in the thread, she said that she knew of all the clubs in Texas, all those new clubs in Texas, and fully vaccinated, I'll go to Texas. Fully vaccinated, I will go to Florida. Fully vaccinated, I will go to Nevada. I'll even go to Vegas. Will I?
I wouldn't. I would go to Florida if there was like a herpes vaccine, and I would re-up my tetanus as well. No, yeah, I would. Yeah, I guess I would. I might wait till July. I definitely am waiting till July, but I'll definitely feel safer in the summer. I feel like we still need to get more people vaccinated.
Right, we're at like most states are at 30% one shot and 15-17% two shots.
Yeah.
So and ideally it's 85% two shots for herd immunity or whatever.
Okay.
And so that the last time I checked was probably 4 or 5 days ago. So it might have been. We might be up to 40% because they're churning out. But there was a big mistake with Johnson & Johnson, so we lost a bunch of vaccines.
So bad.
It just means that, you just got to...
take longer.
Yeah, it'll just take longer instead of a 2-shot thing. I mean, it's so weird that France and Italy don't have enough vaccines.
Yeah, it's sad the EU sort of fucked up,
Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball here.
Just learning from, there were so many local references on the Blame Game, like local to Northern Ireland. I was like, what the fuck are you people talking about? But I gathered from some of the topics that Northern Ireland has a lot more vaccines than the Republic of Ireland, and they're sort of hoping that Northern Ireland, sends a few their way because they share the same island. Right.
And I get, people are like, well, Biden's hoarding vaccines. And I'm like, he's not hoarding vaccines. He's trying to churn them out as fast as possible. And then when they're done, when plus he's shoveling against the tide here. He has to undo 4 years of neglect.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I say get as much of the United States vaccinated as you can, and then
Yes, because we work in the United States. We're America. Yes, we got to get on the road, Jackie. We're very important. No, but I know it's just the whole world's got to have it, but unfortunately,
the whole world's got to have it.
Poorer countries are going to get it last, which is shitty, of course.
And fucking par for the course, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, but to go back to really make it self-referential, let's really talk about Jackie Cation in the third person. I need to book my May, and I would like.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to book my May, you guys, because I would like the momentum. Once stuff is tight, if it's tight, let's keep it tight and let's keep tightening it, and then record the goddamn thing, and then I can listen. I'm going to record 5 shows.
Are you going to have Dan Schlissel do it again?
No, it's 800-Pound Gorilla.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
And Ryan Brennan is supposed to film it.
Oh, nice. He's great.
For another special, right?
Yeah.
That people may or may not want to buy. You guys, 4K cameras. Anybody? Okay, so but he is also working on a show for TLC or something like that.
Oh,
and he might have to work that week.
Okay.
So if Ryan Brennan cannot film it, I have to ask Ryan Brennan of Black Iris Media who else can film it. And
but I mean, if someone else can set up cameras, he's like a great editor. He's a really great comedy editor. So as long as you can get him chopping that thing up, you're in good shape.
I think the last time I talked to him, when the first or second time I had it scheduled, he told me he couldn't edit it.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I wonder what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. All I know is I want a wine. Would I like some cheese with my wine? Oh my God, Jackie, I'm exhausted. I'm boring myself. Please talk.
Oh wow, that rarely happens. Okay.
Oh yeah, let's take a break. Let's take a Max Fun.
Listen, sometimes we don't have it. Okay. Sorry, we're fucking tired. I'm tired. I've got, there's shit everywhere. I can't figure out, I'm unsettled because there's piles of crap everywhere, and dissatisfied with stand-up, and frustrated with how performing is right now. And I don't have anything to add, really. I didn't have any great comedy events this week, and hanging in there.
Yep. Do you want to set tomorrow at 3 p.m.?
Me?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check and see when I'm supposed to swim.
You might.
I
have
will
to swim.
take time.
You might have to yoga. You might have to swim.
I signed up for. Hold on, Jackie. Please don't hang up, people. I don't. You know what? Let me find out afterwards. We're taping a live podcast. I should be searching my Gmail right now.
And here's the other thing. This will air on Monday. So the opportunity.
Yeah. What's the point? What's the point of anything right now?
Oh my God. New T-shirts coming out, you guys. What's the point of anything right now? Is that should that be our Max Fun pin of the year?
Yes.
All right.
I had another tweet where I called Greg Gutfeld a pussy, because when I did his show Red Eye a long time ago, they gave me 2 bookings in a row. I was working at 23/6, which was the Huffington Post political comedy site that was co-owned by Barry Diller, two stalwarts in comedy, Ariana and Barry Diller, and so I was just on Red Eye, right? And the first one I did an Ann Coulter joke. I made fun of Ann Coulter, and then they canceled the next appearance. And I was like, fine, who cares? It's it's on at 3 a.m. on a shitty network, so I don't care. But then he has a late night show that's coming out on Fox or it's an 8 p.m. show, but it's a nighttime show. It's going to be basically Red Eye, but at 8 p.m.
Mhm.
And it's thematically, it's like being canceled is over with. It's like so I'm like, you pussy, you canceled me. So I joked about Ann Coulter. And then someone retweeted me or quote tweeted me and said, I liked this, even though I don't think it's right to laugh the word pussy in this context. I'm like, what are you doing? Just enjoy your life. If you laughed at it, it was funny. Okay. Maybe you don't know yourself as well as you think you do, because you obviously are okay with that word being used that way.
Right. And there's words, they're just words that are hard. I remember, there's words that have been vilified so badly that then when you take them back, and then you're like, the first time you say the word pussy, or the first time you say the word cunt, or the first time you say the word feminist, even, because I remember feminist was vilified so bad, like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, well, I believe in women's rights, but I'm not a feminist. How many times did you hear that?
I know.
1,000?
I know. That's how you start every joke about equality. Is you had to calm the men down in the audience. Oh, right. You're going to be okay. Don't worry, the headliner's a guy. But I'm not comfortable using the word pussy in a vagina sense, but I'm very comfortable using it, calling somebody like it's a weak quizling, right? That's a kind of a shorthand for that version.
Would that be
of pussy.
a weak queefing? I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. It wouldn't, and it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
Did you want to, let's spend these last 7 minutes just being just gross. Anyway, like something that would just make Lou Deck go, nobody wants to hear it.
I don't know who Lou Deck is.
He's a Florida comic who worked at the store in the 80s
and
the 70s and told me that women don't swear on stage because nobody wants to hear it. And then made me listen to me saying the word fuck 1,000 times in 1984. Not that I'm still ever thinking about it or that I know his name 100 years later.
That's a good name, Lou Deck. Is it DECK?
It is.
I like it.
And I don't know if he's
short.
He's got to be 70 now. I mean, the dude, but you know what? I thought that everybody, like in 1984, of course, I was 19.
Yeah, 18 or 19.
And so all the comics that I met who came through and were headlining, I thought that they were all at least 35.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But that's because they were all coked up and drunk and from LA or New York, and they all had that sort of, slick kind of look to them. Mm-hmm. They all looked like, what was that Madonna movie in 1984? Dangerous. What was it?
Where Get Into the Groove came from?
She was wearing a lot of lacy
movie.
Yeah,
with Rosanna Arquette.
Desperately Seeking
Yes!
That was it. So I remember, like, they all looked like they were in that movie because they were these comics who were from New York and LA, but they were probably all in their 20s.
Yeah.
Right? They were probably all 26, 30 years old. They just looked like shit.
And they were featuring or headlining, so they were guys. And so you assume they're older because of that too.
Yeah. And so Lou Deck might be my age. He might be our age.
54.
Yeah, he might be younger. He might have been 18 when I was 19, but headlining anyway. And he was one of those guys that came through Madison, Wisconsin, and he would sit with us and talk to us about our acts, man. And since I had been doing stand-up for 3 months, I was like, okay, I'll listen to this guy. He's headlining for $250 plus airfare a week in 1984. So he clearly is hugely successful. And yeah. But anyway, I weeded off from my pussy joke.
Yeah.
Much to everyone's
I love to hear
happiness.
weeds and pussy in the same sentence as well.
Well, if you want to get laid.
Do I want to get laid? I mean, it's got to happen at some point, right?
Right.
I have
Right.
changed so much since my dad died. I am not the same person. And I don't even know what I don't even know what my goals would be on a date, because before I was like, oh, potential stepfather, so I got to watch out for that and find that, and still had in my head the kind of the fairy tale of what marriage was and that I would be taken care of or something like that. And now I'm just like, everyone dies, I'm going to die. So, I just want to make sure my son's okay before I fucking die. Like, I'm not the same buoyant, exciting lady I was.
Right. So would you want a boyfriend, or would you just want to get laid?
I have no idea. All I
Those are
remember,
two things to think about.
yes, but from being in relationships, being like, remember this, because remembering how much I wanted to be alone when I was in a relationship, and remembering, don't fall for this. Remember that how much you like being alone, and then after, I don't know. My son is older now. He doesn't need a stepdad. I mean, he would, that's not even a.
He's got a dad. He's got
a dad, and he's also got his own brain, and it would just be someone for me to have sex with, I guess, and go out with, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. All I was obsessed with is redoing this house, like just making it to a place I could live. That's all I've been thinking about for like 7 years.
Right. So literally you don't know, but I mean, but it might be something that you sound like you're kind of interested in thinking about what you might want from a fella, from a boy shaped person.
Right. Because always I've like fallen in love really quickly, and then like weeks later going, wait a minute. And so I want to turn that part of me off, where I just want to be, not get immediately enamored all the time with, you know what I'm saying? I do. And then I'm not lovable. Like, I'm just, I don't have those qualities.
Stop hitting me.
I'm really not.
It's you are lovable. The universe supports you. Yeah. You are loved.
And my breasts are about to get smaller. So no guy's going to be one. That's
everybody wants in on that. If I wasn't in a committed relationship with
April 25th to date me at this current cuff level, and then there's a drastic change.
Which I have to say, you're fine. I mean, I'm
not here for validation. I'll get that from my dead mother.
When you meet with her in the medium, and you're like, no, can I talk to Dad for a second? She's like, I don't mean to interrupt, but what did you do with my stuff?
Oh my God.
Anyway, but I will say that when I decided that I did want to go out with somebody, it was because I wanted to do more than just go on the road and do stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. And as much as I love stand-up comedy, I also wanted, just to see if there was someone out there that I would want to spend time with. And that sort of openness kind of led to, and it led to 3 years of internet dating is what it led to. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't instantaneous or anything, but it opened the door, that willingness opened the door for me to meet dudes and just go, well, I could meet him again, and, I could like him or not like him. And, it made me pick what I did want. Mm-hmm. So that's, I mean, they say that you should pick that in everything, right? In your career. And so what's wrong with picking it in what you want in any kind of a love interest or any kind of a love interest? What am I? Am I an old-timey magazine? What just happened? I
mean, yeah, it all makes sense. But, then you go on a date and, it's whatever, your hormones kick in. But the other thing, it's like, my son is you're never going to be better. You're never going to be higher on my head than my son. Like, he takes top priority. Yeah. So, and, there's no room for you in this house. Sorry. I barely can fit my shit on my closet. So, Like, what would be the point of dating me?
Well, I'll tell you something. I have a neighbor, my neighbor Kat, and she and her ex-husband, they live separately, and he just comes over like 3 or 4 times a week, stays for dinner. She goes to his house for dinner. They probably do it. God knows. God knows I don't need to know. But they have different houses. And they have a lovely relationship. They were married for like 18 years. And for the last 15 years, after they got divorced, they've been doing this. And they like it much better. But they hang out like 3 or 4 nights a week.
All right.
Let's go away.